Back everyone, hope you're all doing well. I just got done with the workouts. I'm a little tired, but we're gonna do this video anyway. I've got the videos I want to talk about today, the 5 most memorable videos on my channel, and I'll just read out the list right now. My first video, the one I'm most proud of, most viewed, my first video with 1 million views. The last one, a video that wasn't very popular, but I think more people should watch. I'm gonna be showing you some clips of them as I talk through them. And I'm gonna give them a background, behind the scenes of what it was like to edit them, why I post them, just everything in between. So let's get into it. My first video is called Marine Rifleman. I made it 5 years ago, right out of the Marine Corps. And the reason I made it is, I think it's actually a good video to watch even to this day. It kind of shows what this channel was always about, ever since the beginning. It was about showing raw footage of what it's like to be the different things I was going to go through in the next 5 years. So it's a minute-long video, and all the footage takes place in a 1-day or 2-day field op that we did. It was a defensive field op. First time working with artillery, first time working with LAVs, Amtracs. The night before, we had dug into the desert. It was in 29 Palms, California, and it was just me sharing what it was like in a single field op day in the Marine Corps. I think it's a good video to watch. A little cute video.
All right, 2, 3 up!
And the next video is the one I'm most proud of. And this video, absolutely, hands down, has to be my guerrilla fighter experience in Iraq, something like that. I think a title. I change it sometimes for the algorithm. When I made this video, it took about a month to edit, 24/7. I would just be editing or thinking up or writing down, talking to my friends and family. Wow, what should I do here? Like, I wanted to say this story, but maybe I shouldn't. And it's 24/7. I couldn't get it out of my mind. I started editing it the first day that I left Ukraine. As soon as I arrived home, I think one of the first things I told my family is, because they ask, what are you going to do now? I'm like, I'm doing YouTube. And I've got a lot of footage from Iraq. I'm going to share it. I'm going to tell them what really happened there. Part of it was because Ukraine was all over the news, and I posted some stuff about Ukraine. Obviously, that needs a platform as well. But Iraq and the Yazidis and Shengal, nobody knows about those people anymore. I wanted to share that part of my life. First of all, it's 13 months that I spent in Iraq condensed into 20 minutes. It was very difficult to edit. I didn't include everything I wanted to, but I was able to include pretty much the major points. When it comes to this video, you have to know the background, which I say in the video, and you're watching right now, but I'm speaking over it. Before I even went to Iraq, I had joined the YPG in Syria. And when I went to Syria, I was doing it out of pride. I wanted to tell people how cool I was. I wanted to be on Instagram, YouTube, all these things. And the reason I went to Iraq was to prove to myself, I don't need other people's recognition and other people's like, oh, he's so cool, to make myself happy. I can live in tunnels in Iraq with no internet service for a year. I can be under drones and bombings and have to learn a new culture and language, new food and new dangers and everything away from family. I can be happy in those circumstances without a phone, without being told like, oh, you're doing such good work. I wanted to prove to myself that, and I did. I only posted probably 3 videos on YouTube. Most of them, I think all of them were just informative videos talking about the Yazidi genocide, just trying to bring light to the Yazidis that were in Shengal. On Instagram, I probably posted like 2-3 times the entire year. So I was successful in that. And when I was in the YPG, because I was focused on pride, I wasn't able to learn the language, the culture. I wasn't able to really take in that experience in Syria. So when I got in there to Iraq, anytime the Kurds were around, which is part of the reason you don't see any of the Kurds in the video, is because I never recorded them. They aren't allowed to have phones. And partly due to respect, but also due to my own mission of not having my phone around, I didn't record them. Anytime they were around, even if I was sleepy and I was resting or whatever it was, I would go to them and I would just sit down with them because they like just sitting and talking. I would sit down with them, I'd write down in my little green notebook Kurdish words, and I would learn the language, and I learned that way, and I learned it almost fluently. I'm starting to forget it now because I had to learn Ukrainian, I have to learn Indonesian now, but I still have it in my head, and that's why I'm so proud of that video. That experience was a beautiful experience. It was the best time and worst time of my life. Those two go hand in hand, and I think I did justice. Even in 20 minutes, I think I gave justice. And that's the other reason, the final reason I'm so proud of it, is because I made that video not for myself. I made it for the Yazidis, but also for my friends, because they don't have a background in editing. They didn't take so many videos. I made that video so that my friends, when they have kids, and their kids hear about how he was in Iraq, how is he going to explain that he was living in tunnels and doing all this stuff, and he was with Kurds and different language and different people? I made this video for them, and when I was editing, I would go to them every single hour almost, just texting them, like, what do you think about this part? What do you think I should put here? What should I talk about here? Should I not include this? And this video is for them. so that they can show their family and friends. When it's so difficult to explain your experiences from Ukraine or Iraq or whatever it is, college, anything. It's so difficult to explain what was going through your head. So to be able to show a video and be like, hey, if you guys want to know about my experience in Iraq, here's the video. That's a beautiful thing, and I'm happy to be able to help those people have something to give their family and friends. That's all the background I want to give. Next video is my most viewed video, which is probably a lot of the reason that you guys are here. And don't worry, much more combat footage is gonna be coming here soon. I'm still editing it, but the most viewed video that I have is my first combat operation in Ukraine. It's a 40-minute long video. I posted it to go and show people what really happened that day. Just to give a little background, I made it right after I made the Guerrilla experience in Iraq video. I decided I'll start editing this, and I promised myself I don't need to put out this video. I'm gonna edit it, and if I think it's good, if my friends think it's good, I'll post it. There's a lot of reasons I post it. One of them was because this had happened 7 months ago. I knew OPSEC didn't matter anymore because it was so long ago. This was 2 weeks after the war started. Going on with that, a week after I went on the operation, some of that footage that I give to my friends that were there, I didn't give it to anybody else, just my friends. Some of it had leaked. And the problem was that when it had leaked, the Russians had grabbed it and said, oh, what we can do is say, hey, we captured this GoPro from a foreign fighter. And they did that. They used it as propaganda. They said, hey, we captured this GoPro from a... And they only shared like the really crazy parts of my video. These foreign fighters, we found them dead, and here's their GoPro. I wanted to show people what really happened that day. You know, they didn't find us dead. None of the internationals died that day. We all came out alive, injured a little bit, but all good. I wanted to create this video for my friends, much like the Guerrilla Fighter video. This video was for my friends. When people ask about what happened that day, like, you know, what, here it is. And I explain with the text at the bottom. I think I did it pretty well. It's my most viewed video. Just so you guys know, it's embarrassing. I mean, your first combat experience, the reason you won't see first combat experience videos for most people is because it's embarrassing. It is the first time that you learn everything about yourself. The worst side of yourself and the best side. And you can see it. You can see both of those with everybody involved in that video. It's incredibly personal. The first time you go to combat is not easy. You can see in the video after that, my last combat operation, how successful and how together we are. That's the videos people are going to share to you. The first video, that's a very raw video, and I wanted to share it to almost dissuade people that are trying to go there that don't have any experience, like combat experience in prior wars, like, hey, this is not something you should take lightly. Yeah, that's my most viewed video. It has like 8.5 million views or something, and that's just on my channel. Know where the handle is so you can grab it. My first video with 1 million views, that is the van tour video. It took about 2 months to edit, for good reason. It took a long time to edit. You know, like all the audio changes with the music and stuff, it was very difficult. I had recorded it in Texas with this girl that I met on Tinder. Her brother had a really nice camera and a drone, and she was like, oh yeah, what if we get that? And it was awesome. You know, I was able to then, with the success of that YouTube video, I was able to pay him for his time, which was awesome, and he was able to buy a new drone. Anyway, a little background on the van. I did van life for 2 years. I'm gonna continue it when I'm out of Indonesia for a bit. I made this van after watching some videos about vans and how people can live in them, and I thought it would fit my lifestyle really well. As you guys know, I love to travel. I've been in almost every continent now, except for Antarctica. I love to travel. I never thought I would, but I do. And the van just seemed like a great idea. I can live in my van and follow my passions. So right out of the YPG, I remember even in YPG, I was writing out little like schematics for how my van is gonna be. When we were taking ideology lessons and stuff, I would write out schematics. When I got back home, I was finally able to talk to my dad about it, who's a carpenter. He was like, I support you fully in this, let's do it. I took out pretty much all my stocks, not all of them, but most of them, in order to fund this thing. I had some money saved up as well, a couple thousand, and also my stocks, and this was my last thing. I was like, okay, this is what I want to do with my life. You know, I'm a crazy guy, so I put in all my money, put in everything, all my time for the next 7 months into building a van. I made it into the perfect van. I have an extra seat, I have a shower, hot water shower, I have 35 gallons of water. I just put in lithium batteries just now. It was me showing what my dad and I made. You can see, like, you know, what we were able to do. The reason it was so successful, and it now has like 3.1 million views. The reason it's so successful is because it is honestly probably the best budget van you could possibly make. It has everything. People appreciated that. So I'm happy with that video. It was pretty cool. Page tells me the input versus output. And right below that is the one I usually check, which is that. The last video we're going to be talking about is a video that wasn't very popular, but I think more people should watch. YPG International War Stories, Q&A. This is with my buddy Zoffer. Well, first of all, let's give a little background. He's a Marine veteran. He served in Afghanistan. He got out, and then he went to YPG, spent 3 years there, I think. He's always in the comments section. I'm sure he'll be in the comments section here if he watches the whole video. This guy is awesome. He was my squad leader, platoon leader, technically, and in charge of training when I was in YPG. He had been injured in YPG multiple times. Been on many operations. He's an awesome dude. He was recently injured in Ukraine, very badly. He's still good. He's still his old regular self, which is, you know, brought a tear to my eye when I saw him speaking again. He was on CNN and all this stuff. Once I built the van out, my first travel was to drive down to Kansas to go and see him. So that's what I did. I went there, and as soon as I got to see him, I was there for a couple days, and we were just chilling, drinking, having a good time. He was having a documentary made about him, and I asked him if he wanted to do a Q&A because I've got this YouTube. And this was a very small channel at the time. He didn't have to do this, but he was like, yeah, let's do it, man. He was all for it. I did a 2-parter Q&A with him, talking about his experiences in Syria. You know, you're gonna have a lot of laughs if you watch those videos. He has a lot of interesting stories. He talks about some crazy stuff. I recommend watching that video. I look up to him a lot. I saw him in Ukraine as well, which is crazy. Small world. Foreign fighter world is small. We were both in the Marines together, both in the YPG. The first time I ever met him was in Syria, in this random international group out there with the Kurds. And then the last time I saw him was in Ukraine, just randomly. He's like, I'm here. Go ahead, give that video a watch.
Hit us from a good 500 meters out. Blew the explosion, blew through the...
But anyway, thank you for watching the video. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that you learned something a little bit about, you know, the background of my videos and why I post them and all that stuff. I'm gonna go get some protein now, so I'll see you guys later. Peace.